All right, so recommendations training. I want to remind you the two parts. Actually, before I go to the two parts, I can't not say the two reasons we get referrals. Guys, the two reasons we get referrals, 100%, are they like you and they like Cutco. Go ahead and write it down. I can't not let you remember that the reason we get recommendations since 1949, okay, is they like the rep and they like the product. And when you tell people on the phone, I get paid just to show it, that makes them like you. And when you say at the beginning of the demo, you know, like I said in the phone, you don't have to buy anything. They like you. When they say, I'm not going to get the homemaker, and you don't work them over to get the homemaker, that's totally different than all sales they've ever been a part of. Right? They're like, you want to buy the car? No, I don't want to buy the car. Well, I want you to buy the car. And they like work them over to buy the car. Do you guys understand that? This car salesman analogy, right? Or the car salesman, what do you call it? Stereotype. When they say, I can't do the homemaker, and you say, hey, no problem. What is it about the homemaker you're not comfortable with? Well, you know, hey, no problem. You know, what a lot of customers do is they take advantage of our no interest investment options, or take advantage of our 15-day trial. You can try it out. And if that doesn't work, hey, let me show you a set that's a few less nines for a lot less money. I'm just like hitting some key phrases that make it no problem, where they like the sales approach. They like you because we don't twist their arms to buy the ultimate set, the homemaker, or whatever. We drop down slowly. We're enthusiastic. See, salespeople make you feel bad if you don't buy whatever you're, you know, maybe they wanted you to buy. Does everyone understand that? Salespeople make you feel bad. So if you're not remembering, build up as you drop down. Get excited about the smaller sets, not to pressure, but because you're saying, hey, don't worry about the homemaker. Don't worry about the galley set. This set's probably perfect for you. I'm finding the solution to the too much money, to the value not overweighing the price. When you drop down, the value's still high because you're excited about the smaller options. You're excited to customize. If you're like, oh, let me show you this ghetto set, right? They're not going to buy a ghetto set. If you're not excited to customize, if you're not excited to buy a three-piece special, to sell a three-piece special, why would they buy a three-piece special if you're not excited to sell it? But if you're self-conscious about dropping down, think to yourself, am I self-conscious about dropping down? No wonder they didn't want to buy it. No wonder they kept dropping down. And when you're excited to sell the smaller options, you're going to sell a lot more. You're going to sell 80, 90% of the time. But that whole process, it actually makes them like you, because you're not you're not twisting their arms to buy the set. Thumbs up if you're tracking. So they like you and they like Cutco. That's why recommendations works. But then you got to remember the two parts. The two parts, and what is the heck is going on with our website here? Okay, but anyway, dropping down. What is that stuff? Okay. Going down to the setup. If you're not sharing your goals with passion, they also will like you more when you share your push period goal, your end of the summer goal to win a scholarship, Kenzie, Bree, and those of you that talked about scholarships with me. There's no reason why you shouldn't be talking after your fast start. You should be talking scholarships. You should say it's a top 50. And by the way, every single week, you guys can find this. You just type in the document library, but here, forget the document library. Just go here and you literally search All American. All right. And when you search All American, right now, today, the 27th, and July 9th hasn't come out yet. Okay. Oh, whatever. I can go to standings and you can find the you can go to all the standings for scholarships and things like that. I won't spend our time doing that right now. But when you share your goals about your push with passion, the 6 steps to sharing goals, now they like you more, Holden, right? They like you even more when you share your goals. But that goes right into this. Okay, Ali, Mrs. Jones, there's one more very important thing that we need to do. The company has created an app where it'll allow you to give the company some feedback on my presentation and help me towards my goals. Now, don't worry, we take privacy very seriously, and the app doesn't store any information or share anything with the company. And the app is called My Cutco Wrap. Now, if you're not reading this, you're probably asking in a very awkward way because you're making up an approach that you have never done before. You're literally making up an approach. If you're not reading this every demo, you're making up an approach. If you wing it, you will sound like you're making up crap. No wonder they don't feel comfortable downloading the app. Does everyone understand that? And then, as I mentioned, as it allows the company to get some important, simple feedback from you on me and on my presentation. And it also eliminates any of the paperwork. If you're not emphasizing that they don't have to fill out any paperwork at the end of the demo to verify you did a demo, then, no wonder they're not downloading the app. And to get started, I'll need you to download the app and I'll give you my 8-digit rep number and my 4-digit meeting code to make the appointment what? Official. And if you're not saying these phrases, it sounds like you're making stuff up. Now, you take a few minutes to download it, and then sometimes reps forget the last 2 sentences. Also, at the end of the presentation, there's going to be a way for you to sponsor me towards my goals. Customers love sponsoring people. They love sponsoring the Girl Scouts, the soccer team, whoever. And thank you so much for your help. Go ahead and answer the first 2 questions and put the phone off to the side. Okay, if you don't do that correctly, you got issues, right? Next thing I'll bring up the fact is that if you don't have them do full access to their contacts, I'm an old person, right? I'm more than 24 years old. I think you guys probably know that, right? And I actually don't even understand it, but there's some form of something in their iPhone, if they're an iPhone, they can do limited contacts or full access to their contacts. You guys understand that? You got to learn to make sure they do full access, or else it's only going to be the 4 people that they've selected as their limited contact access, whomever. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? So make sure they do the all access, right? And you got to clarify, hey, this isn't, because they don't understand Snapchat, your customers, right? They don't understand when they do full access. That just means the app can see their contacts. It doesn't mean Vector or the universe or the dark web can see their contacts. I'm sure the dark web already has all their contacts. Let's be honest, okay? Right? But the app can see their contacts. So to boomers, you got to explain, hey, it's not Vector seeing all your contacts. It's just the app in your phone seeing. It's like Instagram seeing their contacts. It's like if they have Marco Polo, it's like Marco Polo seeing their contacts. I would use Marco Polo as the example with boomers. Is everyone with me on that? And then say, do you have Snapchat? They're like, yeah, but I don't use it. Say, it's like Snapchat, the app in your phone, being able to see the contacts in your phone. Okay, let me pop up and say questions on that. Any questions on that? And if you think, no, I don't want to ask that question, I bet you someone wants to ask that question. Jackson, go for it.
Yeah, one of the problems I've had is people aren't comfortable with sharing their contacts with an app. What is your response to something like that?
Yeah, I would just say what I just said again, right? I would literally say, hey, I understand you might feel that way, but again, it's just like Marco Polo. In order to Marco Polo someone, Marco Polo, the app, not the person, Marco Polo has to see your contacts in order to Marco Polo them. And just because you give access, that doesn't mean I don't even see a thing. Neither does Vector, neither does the universe. And I would say, I don't see anything, Vector doesn't see anything, and the universe doesn't see anything. It just means the app that's in your phone can connect. So I would clarify what I just said. Does that
Okay.
help?
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. And do you want more, or is that like does it? That does it. Okay, good. All right. All right. So yeah, Sione, quick, go for it.
Billing info.
What's that?
Billing info.
Oh, that's not on the subject of recommendations. So if you don't
Oh,
understand something there, text me and Patrick or call Patrick, okay?
okay.
But do it after Champs Club. I have a meeting after Champs Club, so
Recalls.
you'll have to call Patrick, okay?
Okay. I'll make sure
But
to call them.
yeah, the short of that is, customers, in order to buy something on Amazon or anything, they have to do billing info. So, okay. So again, we're talking about recommendations. So once you get them downloading the app and they do full access, and then they answer the 2 questions, you're pretty golden. Okay. The setup is the first part of getting recommendations. And I wanted to hit that because if you don't do the setup, and let me remind you, it's worth the extra minutes, and it's multiple minutes to get them to download the app in the beginning. Sometimes you're like, I got to get to my demo. I got to get to my demo. You're only going to pay for it later if they don't download the app or if they don't do the And how many guys understand, nod your head violently, like maybe to the point of a concussion. If you don't do the app, you get way less referrals, and even worse, promised referrals are never referrals. They have a life, dude. They have so much going on after this demo's over. They are not going to be thinking of recommendations. Now, you can pester mom and your aunt and someone from church every Sunday, but you don't want to do that, do you? Right? Let's just get the recommendations today. So it's worth it to do the setup to download the app and take the extra couple minutes so that you're ready for the referrals later. And let me go back one more time. Let me go back one more time to this section where you share your goals. I want them literally. I used to get the ring check, and I know it sounds like I'm flexing here, but I used to get the ring check. The married moms who had teenage or 20-plus-year-old daughters, they would look at the ring on my finger to see if I was married because they'd be fired up about some kid who had fat goals in life and wanted to be successful and win a scholarship and be financially independent at 22 years age. They would be like, oh my gosh, I wish my daughter would date someone like you instead of this fricker that she's dating right now. And guys and girls, trust me, you'll have moms saying, oh, you're so sweet. Are you single? And they'll ask if their son could date you. Like, it's awesome and weird. And I don't know if you should do that, but hey, if they really respect you as a human and they see and they're inspired by your goals, look at me. They're hecka going to give you referrals. They want to see you succeed in life because you've explained how passionate you are about your goals. Guys, that is it's such a hack, a good hack, right? It's a hack in life to really share your goals with passion. Okay. When you share your goals with passion, all these objections go away. So the 6 steps to sharing goals, obviously step 6 is all about referrals. And that leads right into the app. You say these 6 steps, right? And remember, step 5 right here is word for word. And then step 6 right here, word for word. You share this stuff with passion in your own way. Can I share my goals with you? Tell them that you're trying to sell 15K in this SC2 push and show them the t-shirt and show them the hearty slicer that you want to win and, and the push period goal and show the pictures, Kenzie and Bree from SC1 when you won a trophy at SC1. Holden, I think you might have, like share that picture and say, I want to do that again at SC2. They're like, SC2, I want to come to SC2. Can I come to SC2? I want to see you do that. Okay, they'll be so fired up. Share your nerves at your goal. You're nervous about your goals, but you're 100% committed. And then you say, hey, don't buy Cutco just to be nice. It's too expensive to buy just to be nice. But if you get something today, it's going to help me towards my goals. And that's that's not word for word, but you should read this word for word. And then the part where you're setting up for referrals. But then when you do the actual approach, in that setup in the actual script, right? When you do that in the actual script and you do the download, you're not even talking about recommendations yet. You're talking about sponsoring. But they download the app and they answer the 2 questions. Okay. So the second part of getting recommendations is where you ask. And guys, if you're asking but not reading this, you're going to fail. 9 times out of 10, when someone says, oh, I don't get referrals, nobody gives me referrals. And I say, tell me the recommendations approach or ask me for referrals, Kimball. And the person never, ever, ever, ever knows the approach. The only people the only people that know the approach are the ones that don't complain about getting enough referrals or not getting enough referrals, right? Does that make sense? The people that don't complain about not getting enough referrals are the ones that actually read the approach or they know it word for word. And I'm going to do this kind of almost by memory. The only problem for me is that this app didn't exist even 2 years ago. And the cell phone was not in existence when I was asking for referrals. I got my first cell phone literally like the last 4 months I was a full-time rep and then I became a manager, right? That's in 1998. Okay. But you say, Miss Jones, how'd you like my demo? Great. Go ahead and pull out your cell phone. I didn't even say that because it's back then. And just answer those next few questions. The app didn't exist, so I never said that. And there's no need to make me sound better than I really am. I just want to get feedback so I can keep improving. Now, if you don't do the hard work in the beginning, it's not hard, but if you don't spend the time in the beginning to download the app, then you can't ask this question, right? Now and then once they do those 2 questions, you say, now, Miss Jones, there's one more really important part. And this is what I used to say word for word. Here's how you could really help me out. I get paid every time I show Cutco, but I can only show it to people I've been personally recommended to. So what I need you to do is, and this is where, so those 4 sentences, I said that word for word, Caitlin. That was exactly my approach when Bill Clinton was president. Okay. Like your parents were my age, right? And I say now, and they go through your contacts, cell phone didn't exist. And, jot down the first 100 names. And notice how it says jot down. Jot down means write down. And you're not going to really have them write it down, but they're like ready to write 100 names. Like, what? No, I'm just kidding. The app you downloaded is designed to be a huge time saver for both of us for this part. And allows you to send me some introductions straight through the app. So anyone you recommend automatically syncs with my phone. And this is the much easier part. Of course, I'm the only one that's going to be able to see your contacts. And at the bottom of the screen, you can click share and then hit allow full access. And it lets me refer those 100 people. Just kidding. On this part, likely go ahead and check off anyone that'd be nice enough to take a look and it's nice enough to see me and not necessarily people who want to buy. Now, this is where it's exactly what it was in 1994. Not necessarily people you want to buy, do you think would buy, just people nice enough to take a look. Now, I got to say, it's 9:29 and I got to jump into another meeting with the region manager. Okay, so I got to jump, but let me explain, guys. When you actually make the effort to read both the setup approach and the ask approach, you will get for sure an average of way more than you're getting. Now, raise your hand if you want to get way more than you've been getting. That's all you need to know. I want the last tip I'll give you is don't worry about the zeros. In dating or in getting recommendations, don't worry about the zeros. Don't worry about it. I'd rather take a person who's going to give me 10 and get them to 25 than get a 0 to a 2. So don't worry about the zeros. Get majority of people to give you 5 to 10 more. Okay, 5 to 10 more. And then you will get more results with referrals. All right, guys, I'm so sorry I got a bolt. I'd love to talk for 5 more minutes, but I got a bolt today. All right, we'll see you at the team meeting tomorrow. See you at Champs Club tomorrow and see you in your PCs. All right, peace.